Good morning, Garcelia. Good morning, out of Valencia. Be careful on the roads, my friend. Oliver Man Warren. It's birthday hum day. Sending out birthday greetings to my one and only daughter, Tyler Leon Man Warren. So happy birthday to your daughter. All right. Cake and ice cream, Oliver. Cake and ice cream. Maria Marva, good morning. DJ Ray out in Tampa, good morning. Miss Ingrid, how art thou? Carol Guevara, Hump Day, yeah. PBS to you. Rena Boodoo Jennings, good morning. CJ in New York. D. Pierre, good morning. Ms. Maloney Doodoo, good morning to you. It is Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. All right. Take a look what's our weather going to be like in Trinidad and Tobago for today. It is 24 degrees at both islands. It is indeed 24 degrees. And the Met Office says, listen, just copy and paste yesterday. Yesterday was a scorcher. Take yesterday, put it in today. Full moon on tomorrow. Checking the temps of some of our places, our listenership. Let's see. Toronto, you're full with a drizzle. Miami, clear, 24 degrees, same as here. Orlando, 22 and clear. New York, cloudy and 11. Spring is in the air. No, let me not sing. Maybe I should. Atlanta, yep, pull out the shorts. It's 18 degrees. London, cloudy and 10. Tampa, 22. Washington, pull out the flip flops. It's 16 and clear. All right, that's some temps across the globe. So let me say good morning, good night to the gentlemen. Good morning to you, Wendell Stephen. What's happening? All right. I
Good
don't know
morning,
what Wendell is.
Steve.
Morning there, my friend. What's happening? What's happening there,
I'm
Paul
all right.
Richard?
Good morning to you. I don't know Wendell is there, but he's not answering yet.
Right. Yeah, no, I was actually reconnecting to my extended internet because I've left upstairs and came downstairs. So good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Holy Wednesday, is it?
It's
Yeah, touch his
It's
Wednesday,
or just a bit,
Holy
Wendell.
Week. Tomorrow is Holy Thursday. Tomorrow is hot cross buns. Who's buying me hot cross buns?
well, I saw hot cross buns out already.
I had yesterday.
You did.
Yeah, I saw them in Massy. I forgot to pick up
I just have to buy a whole set for a whole bunch of people.
yeah, yeah. I today let me tell you what today is. Today is hold
Wednesday.
on. Today is
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's Holy Wednesday. It's the day that Judas Iscariot betrays Jesus to the Sanhedrin. Right? Today is the day Judas Iscariot would have betrayed Jesus. So
You
for all you
joking.
betrayers out there, just know that you have that today is a historical day in the Holy Week. All right? Because
Hmm
it was 2 days before he was crucified that um,
We'll have the Archbishop on tomorrow, the Archbishop of Port of Spain.
oh yeah, so he will give that
And I'll
religious
make sure he says some
Catholic
prayers
perspective.
for you Judases.
Yeah,
Well, it's not in Judas. They like to focus on Judas. It had thousands of Judases on the way up Calvary Hill.
yeah. So
Who
that's
says
why
kill
that's
him
why
and who
that's
says
why
kill him
today
and
is
kill him?
special for them.
And who says save the thief and kill him? So all they like to
Mm,
focus on Judas as Judas is the only one.
Yes. All of them
Yeah.
wanted to save Barabbas.
And then some disciples disappeared in the middle of the thing. Judas was the vocal one. But much people just be wrong, who just be saying, yeah, when they'll go through hard. And then when you look back, nobody in there.
Yeah, well, my days for taking that kind of chain up long done.
Yeah, tilt your screen forward just a bit, Wendell, to bring
Yeah,
yourself up on the screen.
I was just about to do that. You want to see
All right.
my Genie Army?
It tilted up a little too much. You see, it's almost overdue. Good morning to Donald Trump.
it's 34 charges, Paul.
Let me tell you what my
Yes.
prediction
I know.
is.
You
He'll
said
probably
35
get
or
off
34.
all,
Of course you will.
consolidate his MAGA base, and run again because the Republicans, the other Republican candidates, so afraid of him.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's surviving this. No, I don't.
Rich and white?
Well,
Rich
you
and
know,
white?
they were out there yesterday. But I don't know.
This is just going to consolidate Donald Trump's hold on the hardcore Republican base. That's all it's going to do. He's going to whip them into a frenzy. With this trial, the thing about it is that there's nothing, because I looked at, there's a TikTok I played later on this morning. There's nothing in the American Constitution preventing him from running.
No.
Nothing in it.
No.
I mean, moral and ethics would suggest that he not run, but I mean, he's not the kind of person to adhere to moral and ethical codes in any case. Right? There's nothing, you have to be 35 years old and a born American citizen. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. There's nothing about if you're convicted. None of that. No.
Yeah.
No such nothing. We like to say so, but Good morning, Mr. Raghubar Singh.
Hi, good morning, guys. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning to our listeners, wherever you are.
You still walking down the road?
Walking, no.
Yeah.
Richard,
But I swear you walking. Because at 5 o'clock you send a message saying that you can't put on your camera because you'll be on the road.
He said you'll be on the road. That don't mean you'll be walking.
No, so I'm saying, hold on, here I go in with this. I'm saying if he sent a message at 5 o'clock that he on the road, he didn't say I will be on the road. He said I am on the road.
On the road again.
He had to be walking. He had to be walking the town. If at 6 he can't be at
You don't know where he going, but you're up in my business, so.
Richard, where you going?
You don't know what his destination is. His final destination is.
Richard, where you going?
So
Richard, where you going?
Or something. Anyway,
I'm on the job.
there you go. He's on the clock. Anyway, good morning to you. Also, Donald Trump has been charged.
Arrested and charged.
Arrested and charged. The first U.S. president to be arrested.
Ever.
Is this any surprise? His campaign manager has been convicted. So many people close to his administration two people have been convicted. One is under awaiting trial. So, I mean, why would this surprise anybody?
Yeah.
You know? Why would this surprise anybody?
And what brought him down?
Nana.
Who's Auntie Nana?
What was the great level of him?
Nana.
I say, who's Auntie Nana?
That's what they call a lot of women of stature in Ghana, right? They go by the title Nana, right?
Okay, we're going to retract that then.
Oh, okay.
Pew Nana. Pew Nana. I think that's the most decent I can say it. So, that kind of sanitize, right?
Yeah. Stay away from Nana.
Nana. Well, pew. Well, he said he grabbed several. He would grab them by the pew. So, so that, I mean, and you saying it bring him down. It didn't bring him down yet. I think well, Donald Trump is going to get off. And I'm not even saying be exonerated. I'm saying get off.
Yeah, I'm not so certain about that.
Okay. Well, I will wait.
He's due in court in December.
What the justice
The
system,
trial to start in January.
the outcome of the justice system. Of course, I'm sure they're going to televise these proceedings.
Right.
Richard one of Richard's play. Richard's best
What is the
play.
height of reality TV?
Richard, you remember that very popular line in America Dance?
Which one?
The one that had
Power to the?
what was it again?
Power to the?
That's self.
Power to the Nana?
Power to pew.
And he had the name of the woman now, Stormy.
Well, some say if we go back,
get a more powerful key than that.
if we go back to even biblical times, Adam was good taking care of the animals, you know.
Yes.
Welcome stage left.
Yes. And as the Archbishop will confirm with us tomorrow, a whole religion was formed based on that.
Really?
Really?
Based on Adam's inability to follow
No,
God's
not Adam,
instructions?
not Adam, not Adam. A whole the religion wasn't based on Adam. The religion was based on Pew.
Or you know it's Pew. It was an Apple partner.
No,
I- Oh, he bad talking the Anglicans in a kind
I
of
ain't not talking. I'm just saying that's how Anglicanism came about.
as a Catholic, I'm saying you're bad talking, man.
I'm an
Yeah,
Anglican.
the Lioness are not bad talking them, you know, I just reminding them.
God
Yes.
told Adam, listen to me, partner. You have the animals to take care of, you have some trees to tend to, some gardening to do. You understand? And Adam was doing it, and then God said, this man looking lonely. Let me get a mate for him. And he put him to lie down, put him to sleep a little bit, give him some anesthetic, passed the hand over his face, he went to sleep, take out a rib, and formed Eve. And then I'm going to call somebody name here, slid through.
Yeah.
I'm
And
going
then
to call somebody name.
and
Slid
then
through.
and this is the Christian week, so you know people can be sensitive, eh? And then all hell broke loose.
Well, no, I wouldn't say all hell broke loose because God sent Jesus after to deal with his sin, so no, all hell didn't break loose. We had some measures in place. God was compassionate enough and gracious enough to give us some measures, and then he told Adam, "Don't touch that fruit there," and the serpent went and told Eve, "Hey, take on them, you know."
Who the serpent tell?
It's not Eve he told,
Yeah.
right? And then
I
Eve
just
went and
wanted
told
I just
Adam.
wanted you to repeat it.
And then Eve went and told Adam, listen to me, I get some news here. Fake news, you know. Some fake news from long time, you know. No internet yet. That partner crawling on the ground, they say, what God told you mightn't be all that. Adam take the bait. Wendell, what
Who
Wendell
took it
face?
from? Who Adam took it from?
Adam took it. That is the point. So Adam had his own will too, okay?
That's a very patriarchal story, you know that, right? Blame the woman.
Story, you know.
Blame the woman for everything that went wrong.
Adam could have said, Madam, no. God told me, God didn't tell Eve, do not interfere with that.
You ever tried to say that?
And he capitulated to Eve's, how should I put this? Suggestions,
Okay.
proposal. And then on top of all that bacchanal, when God came and said, hey, I'm looking for, I can't find all you. He was hiding. And he said, well, why are you hiding? Because we're naked. Who tell you naked? Me, you know. And then instead of Adam saying, God, you know what you told me and I disobeyed, I was disobedient. He says, she and the serpent is not even me.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I was good here by myself. And then she came and she inveigled me as if I didn't have my own will
Yeah.
to disobey you. And both of them then, I say, okay, well, you will get this and you will get that and you will crawl in your belly, which means the serpent wasn't crawling in your belly before. Not so?
Yeah.
And so start a whole long line
Yeah.
of politics.
Up to today, men saying it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
Including Donald Trump.
Up to today. Yep.
You see how the thing go? If they had said God, if Adam had said, God, I was wrong. I disobeyed you. I should not have done that because you told me not to interfere with that. So all the hullabaloo about whether it's an apple or whether it's sex is relevant. You miss the point of the story.
Yeah.
It is about disobedience.
Yeah. And temptation.
And lack of accountability. All of which we still facing today.
Yeah.
Because they blame, Adam kind of blame God, you know, because I was good by myself and you send this woman here.
Yeah. You took one of my ribs and look what you do.
Yeah. And she, Miss Eve, take on the serpent. But why did the serpent choose Eve, you think? We should ask the Archbishop that tomorrow.
But we could ask some of our listeners. Why do you think the woman was chosen?
You have an agenda. Coming back home, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines says new equipment
Because
is
the
coming
story
in.
was written by a man. That's why.
It's
Wait,
possible,
wait,
Richard.
wait,
It's
okay, wait.
possible. It's possible.
New equipment is coming. In 3 weeks.
Yeah, one fire truck.
Okay. One is better than none.
Yeah, but Leo Ramkisoon told us yesterday that of the 25 fire stations in Trinidad and Tobago, 8 are without operational tenders.
Yeah.
Why is that allowed?
Including Woodbrook. And the
Belmont,
4 roads.
Mover,
And the cruise.
I listened to him for a while yesterday. I listened to a bit.
you know. I don't know. Good morning to our viewers on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All on now. Good morning to the video. You could send comments and stuff too. Good morning, Ray.
I
Yeah.
actually shared your page.
So you know, it begs. You know, there's so many questions that arise there. National security gets the biggest, if not the biggest, the second biggest pie of the budget. But of course, fire services is not like police, as we all know,
Yeah.
which is at the forefront of law enforcement and crime fighting in the country. But firefighting is also critically important in saving lives.
Yeah.
So is it that some decision was taken through some rationale that, well, we can't afford them? How much a fire tender does cost? Do we know?
Well, considering
you
we
attempt to get me
spent
behind
6 million.
There was a famous cost. There was a famous cost, not so Wendell.
That was
No,
to
to
pull
take
it out
it out of a
the
ditch.
ditch. That was 6 million. So
No, but there was a whole comparison of the cost at that time.
yes,
And
because we spent
they would think it was better to buy
more
one.
on the ditch than we paid for it. That
But
was
there was a
the
comparison.
big
Richard
then.
is right. Whether or not we should leave it down there, the cost or buy a new one and leave it down there. Because the cost seemed at that time, I could be wrong, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, more exorbitant than actually buying a new one. The cost to lift it out of the ditch.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was part of the, that was part of the
Let me
discussion.
not say that. That particular contractor's cost. You understand? Because another contractor might have said cheaper. We don't know.
did we ever find out who the contractor was then?
No. Like I remember they did. Anyway, so the cost of so let's just say
The average cost for a fire truck is about $1 million US.
based on what is your source, Steve?
Google.
$1 million US.
But that's for a US fire truck, yeah? 'Cause our
Well,
fire
then,
trucks
let me just
not
say,
that
I thought
heavy.
Real hardcore, so you
Yeah.
understand?
So let's bring it
Can't be
down
more
to
for Trinidad
3/4 million.
because them US fire truck real big.
Yeah. They're huge.
So
And they outfitted.
It's like an
So-
ambulance in one.
7 million TT by 5. 35 million is worth it.
Of course it is.
So that could be the question this morning. I have 2 possible questions. Should the country invest in more fire trucks? One, I think we had a similar question yesterday. Or do you think Donald Trump will be convicted?
Fire truck.
Are they planning?
Fire truck
Are they-
yesterday. didn't it?
Are they planning to buy more fire trucks?
Well, Minister Hines said one is on the way.
One is
In
on the
2
way in
weeks.
about 3 weeks' time. I don't know if it's going to be for the airport, because the 2 that they recently bought went to Crown Point, Tobago, and Piarco.
So why they couldn't buy like 7 at a time or 5 at a
They
time or
need to buy
something?
like 50. They need to get rid of all those fire trucks and
Maybe
outfit
it's a
them with new.
procurement thing. We don't know. You
You
know how
know,
long
But
things take to
even
procure?
even if it's a procurement thing, you could say instead of 1 or 1.5. Just saying.
Maybe the whole process is only facilitate one.
You know
So you
what
go
is
through a whole procurement process to buy 1 fire tender.
You know what is my gut feeling? And you know, I say things that other people probably won't say. They just don't see, a lot of people don't see the significance of a fire service here, you know. They think that's a waste of time, you know. I'm telling you.
Fire service is a waste of time. How fire service could be a waste of
Hold
time
on.
when
I'm
there's
giving
people?
you, this is not my opinion. I'm giving you the thoughts that I pick up from people out there because they basically say that they fighting, it's bushfires they're fighting.
Until the house
Really?
burning down.
Yeah, until of course our house burns down and people lose their life. They see the importance of it. But I'm just saying the general opinion out there is that
Well,
fire officers do nothing.
I don't know how accurate that is when you say general opinion.
No, I given my opinion on what I have heard from people. I don't know
Very
what
broad
you all
statement.
would have heard or what other people are saying. I'm just saying. But you see, I would say it. Other people won't say it because they would afraid
We
to
always have a
sensibilities.
knee-jerk reaction to tragedy as opposed to being proactive and engaging in maintenance activities in several sectors in this country. To something happen, all of a sudden in 3 weeks, a tender come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, where we would have ordered and started the procurement process. It is typical reactivity in this country. And
You know what? You know what it also reminds me of? It reminds me too of our attitude towards prisoners and the Prisons Association. Because people feel that these are people the how should I put it, they deserve what they get and they don't deserve better. That's
You're
to me
absolutely right.
that's our attitude towards those two arms, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People, I sure we all grew up hearing that we just feeding the army men to do nothing. The soldiers, they just getting 3 square meals to do nothing. I'm
I've
sure
heard
we
it
would
on
have
occasion, yes.
we would have heard that growing up, and we still hearing it today. You understand? Because generally they do nothing. If let's face it, you
Until
know,
a tragedy hit.
until something happens like an attempted coup or whatever. That's when you see the value of these.
Well, they also assist law enforcement in the present criminal context on occasion. They have joint patrols been going on for years now.
Yeah.
TNTEC is investigating a power outage in large parts of central Trinidad just before 7 p.m. Caparo, Mamoral, Tudds Road, Piparo, Valsine, North, St. Augustine, South, North Orapooch, Vega de Orapooch, Fishing Pond, and Kelly Village. Apparently, one of the power producers had some issue that tripped. I don't know how long the power outage was for. There wasn't even a blip in North Trinidad.
No, we didn't get anything in our
But
email.
we went off at 7:03. The power went off at 7:03 last night because I was listening to Lit, and they went off the air, and I said, "Oh,
When
no,
Let's Transmit is in Central.
it's in Central." So I said, "Oh no!" So I'm waiting now for the seconds to pass by for the generator to kick in, which it did, and then I got WhatsApp that Hoover and Maraval and St. Helena didn't have power, and I said, "Oh, okay."
Well, let's hope it's not another tree that fell. Because see, people maliciously cut down trees in my neighborhood yesterday. I was so upset.
Malicious.
Bearing fruit trees to sell a plot of land that I swear if I have to be the only person placarding that space and telling people not to buy that plot of land, I will be. I will be that.
But it's not your plot of land.
No, it's not mine, but it's on a river bank, it's on a river reserve. You understand? And it's just pure wickedness for them to try to sell that piece
But
of
it's
land.
not private land.
I'll tell
And the enjoyment of one's property and therein.
I wouldn't go into the details here, but I'm just saying I will be standing up against.
You know, when you hold the goat to the other on your land and put it in a cage, nobody can tell you nothing.
I went and released it, brother man. I had it
Yeah,
released.
but some might still need the goat to take the mango.
Gregory Boyle carried it back to where its habitat for me.
And the
I
goat,
didn't eat
and
the goatee.
The goat didn't do nothing. The goat didn't even look back.
That good has not looked back in a while.
You take my mic off, yes?
The goat didn't do one thing. The goat didn't even look side, left, right, or back.
I'm sure,
You
I'm
pick up
sure
the
you,
goatee and take care of the goatee away.
I'm sure you saw that I took a glance.
The tea before I get in trouble.
You better sip your tea and truth.
The goatee, they eating the mango is God mango. You
Yeah.
grab the goatee didn't even look back
God
before you
mango.
get whole.
Listen to me. I take my time and plant that Julie mango tree. I nurtured it.
And if people have the land and they take the time and buy the land, leave them, let them do what they want with the
The,
land. I
the
am
land,
generally
the
against people
land,
cutting down
the
bearing fruit
land
trees,
is the
but it's their
land
land.
is on a river reserve. The river came through that land
Is
once.
it private land?
I
Director
do
of
not
Public
get it.
Prosecution Roger
I do not
Gaspar
get it.
says he needs more time to fully respond to attorneys representing convicted King's Counsel Vincent Nelson. The other day, the Prime Minister was having a press conference. This is description of Vincent Nelson make me fall off my chairs.
What is that? What is what
I
did he
think he
say?
said something to the order of, he didn't say crook, but he said some, Dr. Rowley could be
Yes.
dismissive and at times. He said all this hasikara about this basically criminal. You understand? He knows when he's on solid ground describing somebody in a particular way.
Right.
If you're convicted, somebody could call you a criminal.
Right.
You understand? He say, all you get this what is criminal. You understand? Vincent Nelson is a piece of work,
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you something, Richard. Is the honor of King's Counsel still applicable after he convicted? Did they withdraw it?
I'm not sure, I'm not
Because
sure.
I have to call this man
That's
King's
what
Counsel because that's an honor, not so?
yeah, it is an honor. It can be withdrawn, but I'm not too sure if it's automatically withdrawn.
This
I'm not
man
sure.
is so much back and all over the world. Anyway,
Well, it probably would be because there's part of at least within a Trinidad and Tobago context, part of the Legal Profession Act is that if you have a conviction and the type of conviction you have, you can be disbarred. They can take you off the roll.
which means if
Uh,
you have still care, that will also automatically also be withdrawn if you're disbarred.
But I would want to assume so.
Okay. Well, his
But
attorneys,
it's not something that I'm knowledgeable on, that whole issue of King's Counsel and how it's withdrawn.
his attorneys want Gaspar to take steps to have his conviction and sentence set aside. He didn't plead guilty or something, sir?
I think so. Which prompted the charges that went the other way, not so? Because of his
But
plea.
wasn't it some sort of like plea agreement of some sort?
Yeah, but
Because
plead,
it was an exchange.
pleaded guilty.
But that's after pleading guilty, I think, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in exchange for certain how
testimony.
to put it? No. In exchange for certain issues emanating certain
You're trying to cover yourself on it.
I tried how to put it.
You're trying not to
Certain
get yourself in trouble.
certain assurances from the state.
Yeah.
Because that's the subject of the whole brouhaha about the subject that he's saying that he's not getting those assurances anymore and therefore he's not going to testify.
Well, not only that, the assurances came from one person who is no longer the Attorney General, and some of the assurances, I think if I remember correctly, were broken by another minister who went to London and what's the word? Engaged in a conversation related to the information. Not so?
I'm not certain about that part.
Yeah. It's a whole rationale. Anyway, he wants his conviction set aside. I hope Mr. Gaspard takes his time to respond. Something that Wendell has been speaking about for a while, and I know we have had conversations about it in Trinidad and Tobago, and I think there were some administrations that actually made some progress in this regard. Jamaica's tourism minister, Edmund Bartlett, has called for closer relationships between Africa and the Caribbean, saying it would provide a wonderful opportunity for a reverse diaspora experience. I think we've also had this conversation regarding India because of the obvious lineage issues, sensitivities here. Speaking at the African Tourism Investment Summit, which is part of Africa Travel Week, he said the African market of 1.3 billion people is being eyed as the next big source market for tourists to Jamaica. And Jamaica is doing very well with the tourism, because they seek to diversify their tourism product beyond the traditional North American and European markets. Now, is not while you are on top with getting tourists from North America and Europe, you are using your momentum to open new gateways to tourism for tourism
Yeah.
to Jamaica. Isn't that how you're supposed to operate?
Yes. Yes, if you're serious about your job.
If you're serious about tourism and sustainability of it.
Because the African market is huge.
And you notice he didn't say for Jamaica, eh? He said for Africa and the Caribbean. Which means if they come together, Jamaica could benefit, Barbados could benefit, Trinidad and Tobago could benefit,
Yeah.
St. Vincent could benefit, St. Lucia could benefit.
Which is what which is what groups in Africa are also doing. The reverse, trying to get us out there also too. You
But it's
understand?
talking about direct airlink for decades.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've only had one chartered flight, one trial. I think going to Nigeria. I think it was either from I think it was Barbados. I think it left from. You understand? But yeah, I would love to jump on a plane from here and go straight to Africa.
And make and have a package of a tour and safari and the old images of Africa that largely have been purported by the West are very no longer applicable. Eh?
Yes. Yeah.
Africa is a really burgeoning country. You think about how Afrobeat's doing. The younger generation in Africa, the whole generation of millionaires.
Well, it's a burgeoning continent. It's not a country. It's not a country.
Continent, sorry, yeah, my bad. It's several countries. I mean, how many countries? 100 and something.
Up a bit.
Yeah, number of countries in Africa.
I should know that. I should know that off the bat, you know. Hold on.
And they both go to Google. Please pause for Google search.
54.
Countries.
54. The number 50 was coming to me, you know, but I wasn't sure exactly.
54 countries.
Because I was thinking among the states in the US too, and it was close. So it's 54 countries in Africa.
Yep. So I mean, it's such a strategically smart move by Jamaica. While they are doing very, very well with the North American and European markets, going to particularly North Coast Jamaica and their tourism product is making. I think last year they had the biggest tourism numbers ever post-pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're now looking to consolidate that and extend it into Africa. Think about it. So we see how it goes. Good for them.
But I hope I don't have to fly to Jamaica before I get that flight straight to Africa. Before I can do it from here. Because I think you have a lot of Trinidadians living out there. You know? I met a few in Ghana last time, you know?
In Africa?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess a lot in the oil industry.
Yeah.
I know a few Trinidadians live in Botswana.
Right.
So maybe they spread out. I know some live in South Africa. Because I know a couple who live like in Cape Town and stuff like that.
Well, I have several friends who in the oil energy sector who many years ago were hired by African oil countries, companies and gas companies because of their burgeoning oil and gas sector, in particular Nigeria, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But remember, we had an arrangement. Was it an arrangement? I'm not sure to use with Ghana concerning their oil and energy. When did that come about? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. But Trinidad and Tobago has been forging these links with Ghana for quite a while. It also involved Dr. Rowley being a guest of the Ghanaian government. I think it was 2 years ago when he went for their independence. And
yeah, but even as far back as the late President and Prime Minister Ian Robinson, wasn't he bestowed some honor in an African country
in
at some
Nigeria?
point?
Yeah, chief. He was bestowed a chieftain. He was a chief Olokun Igbaru. I don't know why I remember that name so well.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember that.
You're in the wrong profession, yes.
But Dr. Rowley was also garlanded by the thing. And he also, when we went to Ghana last year, and we met the king, the Asante king, he said he was invited to come to our emancipation celebrations by Dr. Rowley. So I haven't heard any announcement yet, but I think the king of the Asante king is supposed to be our guest in Trinidad and Tobago for emancipation. Yeah.
Morning, beauty culture.
Who's beauty culture?
We'll be sharing some of our listeners' comments.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi, good morning, Riri. All the messages are coming up on the screen.
We have technology now.
Okay. Good morning, gentlemen. Have a blessed day. All right. Well, we hoping Michael Grandison is actually Sankofa. Hi, Sankofa. Morning.
We have tech and thing now, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Richard, do you have newspapers?
Where did he go?
Sorry, no, I don't. Because I'm on the road.
What's your purpose here? Anyway, you all choose which question you all want to go with this morning. Is it Donald Trump? Is it Vincent Nelson? Or is it
Vincent Nelson?
Well, yeah, he said he wants his conviction set aside. Should the DPP set aside his conviction? Yeah,
DPP as in People's Partnership?
No, Vincent Nelson wants the DPP to set aside.
Oh, the DPP. I just hear DPP, you know. So I think you mean the People's Partnership.
Because you're obsessed. Because you're obsessed to hear what you want to hear now.
What you want Kamala to set aside his
Vincent Nelson want the Director of Public Prosecutions. Is that clear enough for you now?
Thank you for clearing that up.
Wow. His conviction and sentence to be set aside in the interest of justice, he says. I keep about that. Anyway. Let's go to the news dates. Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2023, Holy Week around the world, and longest holiday weekend coming up, Easter weekend in Trinidad and Tobago. So let's start with the news days. CDA Union surprised by workers' Tuesday protest. Kamala, will Amor be sued for DIC failure? THA independents meet to discuss new political party. Farley, I'm not forming any party in my name. Vincent Nelson's call for conviction set aside. The DPP wants more time to respond. Why is this phone so buggy this morning? Yeah. And ex-US president arrested and charged. Trump says he's not guilty. Let's move now to the Express. If I decide to come up today, I don't know what's going on this morning with this. It's all right, this phone. Maybe I need to edit some stuff out of it. It's quite slow. All right, let's go to the Express. Workers protest over breaches by CDA. Okay, well, the app closed, so give me a second while you all speak there. You see, Richard is supposed to do his due diligence.
You don't close off your stuff every now and then. I do it all the time.
A party for the people, so says Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. Heinz new equipment in 3 weeks. Rescued man vanishes, claimed to be a refugee from Ukraine. Gardner charged with La Romaine double murder. Jailed for robbery at a guest house. And we move now also to the Guardian online for this morning. For today, Wednesday, the 5th of April. Local analyst Wayne as Trump in court pleads not guilty to 34 charges. Lawmakers call for probe of U.S. arms trafficked in the Caribbean. CDA workers protest over unsafe conditions. New program prepares residents for life after children's homes. Fed up fire officers to meet with national security officials today. Ministry of Education and TTPS tackling student truancy. Minister responds to allegations of misconduct at VEMCOT. And lawyers to give DPP time to consider request to set aside Nelson's conviction request. And TATIC investigating wide area power outage last evening. So those are trending stories in our Express Guardian Newsday online for Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2023.
All right. from yesterday, where we asked you, should the government immediately prioritize expenditure for the fire service? A lot of votes on this one. 98%, 98% said yes. Because that would have been you. You need to buy like 50 trucks in this outfit, all the fire stations.
And you willing to sponsor it?
Well, they have to find it. More lives would be lost.
Well, yes, you have a point there.
You know,
And we
so
really don't want that. We don't want that at all.
no, we don't. Especially, children as well.
Yeah, we don't want that
First,
at all.
and I'm sure it won't be the last. We have to protect them at all costs.
So you all decide on what question you want. Who
Let's go to
decides?
fire service again. Is it still making the news?
But
What
isn't it
are
the
we
same-
asking
Isn't
there?
it the same basic question we asked yesterday?
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, so let's go with let's
Go
go
with
with
Trump.
Donald Trump will be convicted.
Yeah, do a little international question, a little international poll this morning.
Do you think Donald Trump will be convicted? Yes. Is it 34, 35 charges?
34.
Do you think Donald Trump will be convicted in any of the charges? Yes or no?
That's our poll this morning. 222 talk, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on the web and the app, you know what to do. So do you think Donald Trump will be convicted on any of his charges? We're doing a little international poll this morning. So do you think that Donald Trump will be convicted on any of his charges? Of course, it's history in the United States. It's the first time ever that a president has been indicted. So what's your opinion?
Yep.
Do you think Donald Trump will be convicted on any of the charges he's facing? That's our poll this morning. 222 talk, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on the web and the app. Well, you know what to do. Just use the messaging platform on those respective sites and to say yay or nay. But we're taking your calls to 222 talk, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. The diaspora in North America will surely have opinions on this. So do you think that Donald Trump will be charged, be convicted on any of the charges that he's facing? He's already charged. That's our poll.
Yeah. All right. 222 talk, 222-8255 and 612. Well, we're not using 612. But
All right, we have a call. Good morning.
Rowley for rape. I say yes.
take that guy number and send it for me, Steve.
I have it here already.
Yeah. I want to send it for Dr. Rowley.
A comes up before his number, which means that he tried to be anonymous, but your number still comes up. Your number still comes up.
I'll send it straight to the Prime Minister.
No,
Idiot.
I'll write that number. I'll stick that number on your phone so we know not to answer it.
Yeah, I didn't hear what he said.
Some stupidness. People wake up in the morning in a bad mood, you know.
But we face you every day, Steve, so we're
Good morning.
accustomed.
Morning, guys. Good
People
morning, guys.
feel they could be anonymous all the time. That's the problem. And get away with the foolishness.
I don't know. For some odd reason, which is strange, which I do not mind, with this complex phone system that we have, the number still shows up. And if they decide to go anonymous, an A comes up before, but their number still applies. But it comes A1868 on the number.
Yeah, let him spend the Easter weekend wondering who going to knock on his door about his damn libelous
No,
statement.
Wendell, you just have to feel sorry for people like that. You know, if they feel that 6:54 in the morning, they have to be mean and rude. Really, they have mental issues. Good morning, big guy.
You got my vote? Yes, morning.
What was the vote? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, big.
All right. Good morning to Susie B. Susie B, I'll read your message shortly. That is something we've been clamoring here for I don't know what. Ambrose, good morning. Joy, Mr. Carapo. B.V. Smith, yes. Mr. Carapo, no. He will not be convicted in 34 counts. Panjaz says yes. Rampage says no. Trevor Narima says yes. Piggy Ray says yes. Ray Hulasi, DJ Ray out in Tampa says no. GB in Trinity City says yes. CJ out in New York says yes. Joy, lock him up, yes. Carol Guevara, yes. Rena Boodoo Jennings, yes. Miss Ingrid, yes. Joy, yes. What says you, caller?
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I firmly believe that he will be, if not all the charges, at least some.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you. Morgan says no. Kenny out in Harlem says no. Slick Money Grip says, good morning, gentlemen. 100% conviction. Passport taken away. So you won't go
Slick
to
money grip. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Maraval on the road. Yes, more to come. Junior, long time Junior. He says yes. Dre, a big yes from Rio Claro. Good morning, Rio Claro. I don't know if it's raining down that side. I know Toku had some rain this morning and last night. And this morning, Arima had some rain. Ish
Arima
out
had
in
rain
Malik.
this morning.
Hey, Ish, long time.
A remad rate?
Yeah, we had rain this
Yeah.
morning.
Not by me.
Yeah,
Well,
down by my
Malabar
side
and
had
stuff
rain.
had rain. Ish says yes. I went to our favorite hardware yesterday. Ish, I was looking out for you. Didn't see him. What says you, oh sleepiest person in the world?
Yes.
All righty. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve. My answer is yes, and this is stealing compulsory is what to come.
All right.
Yeah. I think America want to set an example with him.
Well, I don't know. Chris too said Trinidad has an agreement with Nigeria where we have to pay, not fee for visa. Oh, okay. Long
Yeah.
Islander says yes, he will. Ms. Maloney says yes. Thank you, Ms. Maloney. Susie B, yes, long overdue.
I know you don't need a visa to go to Ghana. I know that for sure.
Miss Ingrid says it's too dangerous for America.
What is too dangerous? You mean convicting him?
Um,
Well, it's already a worrisome thing that he has been arrested and charged. They are bracing for all manner of things from his people. You understand? Did he eventually address anybody?
in Florida, yes, last evening.
did?
Yes.
What did he? I didn't even know.
I don't know
he
what
said.
he said, but
Yeah.
whatever he did, is what the judge told him not to do, and he went and he did it anyway.
Yeah, you know that, eh? You know that, eh? But maybe because he was out of the jurisdiction, he did it.
Yeah.
Because he kept quiet in New York, certainly.
At his residence last night. It's exactly what the judge, as Ambrose is telling me, is exactly what the judge forbid him to do. He did.
This Donald Trump, you know.
I don't know. Yes. 2 minutes again to take your votes. 222-8255. Toll free. North Americans 866-525-1099. Vote on our message board via our mobile app or our website at power102fm.com. And of course, as we stream on YouTube, you can vote on YouTube as well. All right.
Yeah. Facebook pages too. You could check Paul's page, my page, I don't know if the other guys would have shared it, but it's shared. You could follow us on the Facebook too and on LinkedIn. Is that what he said? Good morning, Pamela. I'm not too
morning,
sure that was
Pamela.
I'm not too sure that was the Asante King who was with Miss Jackson. Eh? I've met the Asante King, and I'm not too sure that was him. And he doesn't walk around just like that with people. He is very, very particular. They're very particular with him. You know? So I saw that video, but maybe I don't know who that is.
Good morning, caller. Oh, you missed that long distance call. Overseas.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Overseas. Morning.
Good morning, Lisa from New York. Yes, you will be convicted.
All right, Lisa from New York. Where in New York are you?
Manhattan, Upper East Side.
Me, right by the courthouse.
Oh, Bacchanal going by you yesterday. I saw you looking down.
I know. Hush your mouth, man.
Oh, God.
Right, Lisa.
You know, we are good macos across here. We have eyes everywhere.
That's right. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Lisa. All the best
All right.
to you.
Wait,
Good one.
is that my friend Lisa?
From Manhattan?
Yes.
Well, she
Yeah, I
says
guess.
Lisa from Manhattan. You have a friend named Lisa in
Lisa, if
Manhattan?
you could call back.
Yes. My dear friend Lisa.
Lisa,
Was Lisa, I didn't realize it was you. Don't you registered late?
all right. Lance Park says yes. D
She's like
says
family.
yes to the poll. And Miss Ingrid says, I meant Trump is too dangerous. That's what
Oh,
Miss Ingrid
okay.
said. All right. Let's get into our 8 o'clock major news. A.V. St. Hill Bab is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Executives of the Fire Services Association to meet the permanent secretary of the Ministry of National Security today. TNTech investigates a power outage which hit a large swath of central Trinidad yesterday just before 7 p.m. And Donald Trump says the U.S. is going to hell in a defiant address after pleading not guilty to falsifying business records. Details in a moment. This is News to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintel-Bab. Good morning. Executives of the Fire Services Association are hoping their meeting today with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security will bring positive results. President of the association, Leo Ramkissoon, has cited the need for attention to be given to concerns raised in the past about adequate resources and equipment for officers to properly carry out their duties. He said some of the issues affecting the officers are not new and have been brought to the forefront already, but they will use today's meeting to bring the issues again into the spotlight. Mr. Ramkissoon also spoke about the role of the fire service in the tragic Haiti earthquake, in which over 300,000 persons lost their lives in 2010.
Meeting scheduled with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security tomorrow. We have been discussing these issues with the minister and the permanent secretary for some time, but what we're receiving as usual is, intention to work on it and a promise and here and there, but the issue most of the times is that they are called away on issues of immigration, issues of policing, issues of general crime and other Ministry of National Security issues. So fire service usually kind of takes a back burner.
Meanwhile, fire officers from the Saparia station should benefit from counseling and intervention. This request is being made by President of the Fire Services Association, Leo Ramkisoon. It comes on the heels of the blaze at Quinham Road, Saparia, in which a mother and daughter perished early on Sunday morning. Speaking during the Power Breakfast show on Power 102 Digital on Tuesday, Mr. Ramkisoon said the officers will need psychological and emotional help following such an unfortunate situation. He recalled instances he faced in the past where lives were lost during fires and rallied for the officers to be given attention following this tragic incident.
I have been in firefighting situations where I would have been engaged in firefighting and unable to contain the fire, and it's very frustrating. So I could only imagine what it's like in that situation when lives are lost and lives are involved, that those guys need counseling, those guys need intervention. I know. I spoke to the guys who dispatched them yesterday, that morning, and they need counseling. They are psychologically, emotionally.
TNTAC is investigating a power outage which hit a large swath of central Trinidad yesterday just before 7 p.m. Affected areas are said to have included Caparo, Mamaral, Todd's Road, Paparo, Valse North, St. Augustine South, North Oropouche, Vega de Oropouche, Fishing Pond, and Kelly Village. TNTAC General Manager Kelvin Ramsuk told Guardian Media that the problem appeared to lay with the independent power producers. He apologized to customers and claimed that TNTAC would interact with the power producers to get more information on what occurred. Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard says he needs more time to fully respond to attorneys representing convicted King's Counsel Vincent Nelson. Nelson's attorneys on March 15th called on Gaspard to take steps to have Nelson's conviction and sentence set aside in the interest of justice and gave the DPP 21 days to respond to their request. That deadline would have been today, but Gaspard has since responded asking for more time to address the matter. In his letter, Gaspard said, given the gravity of the issues, he would be most grateful if he was allowed until April 29th to provide a full response. Ensuring communities benefit from adequate resources and opportunities have been cited as key in addressing challenges faced in certain areas of the country, which are usually negatively labeled. This is the assessment coming from criminologist Randy Sipasad while he was interviewed yesterday on the Power Breakfast Show. Mr. Sipasad made the comments as he addressed various factors which could contribute to crime. Some of the matters highlighted were delinquency, family problems, unemployment levels, drug use, music, and gang involvement. Mr. Sipasad said a study which was done had found that communities which were included from avenues or excluded from avenues which will help empower people and can create serious implications.
It sets up a cycle of labeling as a self-fulfilling prophecy cycle, in that you think that a particular group of people might be dangerous. As a result, the society discriminates against them. They have inequitable access to the types of to employment, to resources, social services, etc., that would allow for upward social mobility. And because of that inequitable access, they engage in crime to a higher degree. But then the society takes this as evidence that, yes, these people are really dangerous.
You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. The U.S. is going to hell, Donald Trump has said in a defiant address after pleading not guilty to falsifying business records to hide damaging information ahead of the 2016 election. The former president was charged with 34 counts in a Manhattan court in New York on Tuesday. These relate to a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels, who said they had an adulterous affair. Mr. Trump is the first U.S. president in history to face a criminal trial. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it, the 76-year-old told supporters gathered at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida after he appeared in court. He said that the fake case was simply part of a Democratic conspiracy to interfere with next year's presidential election in which he is running. Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, generally sunny, hazy, and breezy, with the likelihood of the odd isolated shower. Tonight will be mostly fair, apart from the chance of the odd isolated shower. Look out for a forecasted maximum temperature of 32 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 30 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 24 degrees Celsius, both at Piarco and Crown Point. Recapping your headlines at 7 o'clock, executives of the Fire Services Association to meet the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security today. TNTech investigates a power outage which hit a large swath of central Trinidad yesterday just before 7 p.m. And Donald Trump says the U.S. is going to hell in a defiant address after pleading not guilty to falsifying business records. I'm Avril Sintelbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for another major newscast at 12 noon and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Alrighty, 9 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock on this, the 5th day of April. 5 days gone already. Wow, they're just flying. Just flying. Scorcher today. Taking a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Heading to Point Lisas and Couva. You got some traffic on Rivulet Road. A little volume after Trinity City towards Macoya and sticky again towards Uwe and then Barataria to Port of Spain. Eastern Mino, I got no big problems to tell you about. Just in San Juan to Barataria, you got some traffic there. All right? That's a quick traffic update for you. Let me see if I have any more votes for our morning poll. Thank you, Trinity Jam. Morning to you, Trinity Jam. Let's see. Checking it to see. Moving across from this one. Good morning, Anne-Marie Watson. That's Ms. Maloney. All right, no more votes. So our morning poll, gentlemen.
All right, our poll this morning was, do you expect Donald Trump to be convicted? And did you give some other counts just now there, Steve?
No, I didn't get any.
Okay. So 25 people said yes, they expect that he will be convicted, and 5 said no. 25 people, a large portion that is of people who listen to us in North America, said that they expect that he will be convicted, and 5 said no. All right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, as I said, that case was the trial in December. That's the next time. No, in January, but he has to go to court in December.
Yeah.
There's a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, he will create a lot of mayhem between now and then, trust me.
Absolutely. I
A
think
lot.
it is going to consolidate his fanatical supporters.
Mm-hmm.
We can
If you can get him to run through the Capitol building, the Congress building, where did you get him to when he charged and convicted? If he convicted after being charged, he's going to turn this into an international circus.
Yeah.
And
He will.
consolidate his followers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about this Marjorie Taylor Greene. People like that. You know the name?
She's a congresswoman. Is she a congresswoman?
She's the female version of him.
Yeah,
Mm.
she's a little. She comes across pretty mental.
Yep. But you know what? They have a lot like her.
Yeah.
She's
That's
not that unique.
That's true.
It's not easy at all, but we'll see how it goes. It's history in the making, and he's now been charged, and we will see how this progresses.
Yeah. Let me just correct something I would have said before. Is that Nana is a priesthood title, so it's not only women with that title, but there are some men with the title Nana also. But when I went to Ghana, it was mostly women. They were calling the men. Actually, yes, they had some men with that title too. You're right. Chris, I think it's Chris who messaged me. Yeah, there were some men with that title, and they were shortening the title for women and just calling them Na. You know? So thanks for that correction. All right. So it's both men and women with the title Na. All right. So are we taking some calls or what are we doing this hour? You know what we
Yeah,
need?
my guest. Let me see if I can get what he.
We need to get somebody to talk, to give us some expert opinions on what's happening with the U.S. current, what is the potentials for the U.S. currency with what's happening with China and some of these other nations that are now lining up behind China.
Not only China, I'm seeing the feeds coming up every day. A lot of countries, from Malaysia, is moving away from dependence on the American dollar.
Yeah.
A lot of countries have decided we're not going to be slaves to the American dollar anymore.
Yeah. What is the potential for that and for us?
Well, that American dollar dependency globally has kept America at the forefront of economic activity.
Could you define? You said a lot. Could you define a lot?
Well, I've seen every day I see this growing. Let me put it that way.
Give me 10. Give me 10. You said a lot. You use the adjective a lot. So give me the name. What is a lot?
A lot in the context of who had been dependent before. It's all contextual. Raghubar Singh.
He goes into lawyer mode now and then, you know.
It's all
I know that mode only too well. That lawyer mode there. You said so and so. So what you mean by that?
He needs to apply it to himself more often.
You are the one out of your own free will that said a lot.
You don't know if it's my free
will. And you are the one who always holds people accountable when they make generic statements. So I'm just holding you to your own standard.
That is true, Paul.
Some of the BRICS countries.
There are only 4 BRICS countries.
Well, that's 4. Let me go again.
So that's 4.
Right.
So South Africa has moved away. Is that what you're saying?
I say they are intending.
We know Russia and China have their own issues. We know Russia and China have their own issues with the United States. But are you saying that South Africa has moved away from trading or using the US dollar as its main foreign currency comparison?
Hasn't Saudi Arabia done
it? 5 so far. Did you thank me for finding that picture of you 25 years ago to use for your avatar? You didn't thank me for that.
You know,
to use for my what?
For your avatar when your camera is off.
That's not 25 years ago, sir.
Like 40 years ago.
And you see, I did one for Wendell.
That's like a year and a half ago.
I like my picture. I like how I look in my
and I
picture.
did one for Steve.
Pink and white tie.
But I couldn't find anything looking young for Steve, you know?
Yeah, poor Steve.
Let me send you one. Let me send you one.
It's unnecessary.
I'll get you.
And we'll open the phone lines and the numbers are.
Yeah. We have one actually. 222-8255. Morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Good morning, Paul. I'm watching you all on YouTube now. Good morning, Wendell and Richard.
Good morning, Miss Gabby.
The thing is, the best looking guy within YouTube there.
Well, luckily my camera is off, so you can't go there. But not with me, not there.
I know it's not there because I was one picture like him still, you know? But Wendell only moving up, you know?
Yeah, I tend to, but I'm having coffee, so you'll see a lot of movement from me.
Okay. Well, probably not too awkward. I do with technology and so on, but I just can't know how to vote or send messages on it as yet. So I'll get that. I'll learn that. Don't worry. I have a little beef here. Since last week, I've been hearing in the news that the nephew of the government minister was charged with, was arrested for whatever, right? Apparently, I heard in the news again that he appeared in court. But that person doesn't have a name now because he has been charged. If he did, his name is the nephew of a government minister. What is his name? We have not been hearing.
They gave his name. Something Gopi. They gave his name.
Okay, so my thing is again, yes, he's the nephew of the government minister, but why is that highlighted more then?
Because that's what sell the papers.
I just don't understand it because other people have families too and they don't say who is who. Like, you know, remember the former commissioner of police, his nephew as well. They keep saying that over and over to give it what? Because they are persons in leadership roles that the nephew or some relative got involved in some kind of criminal activity and they have to be promoting that part. That is their concern. It's not their is not their immediate family, like the son, you know what I mean? I just trying to keep saying the nephew of a government minister. Say his name and leave it as that, you know? Everybody, I remember it was her son at one time, and we knew that. Well, that is close to her, and she had to feel at home, you know? But it's her nephew. Why should I take issue with my nephew? That's your business, you know what I mean? So, anyway, are you all working tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes. I know you all went there on Friday, but I just want to know. Listen to the program, enjoy the program, and I just had to get the messages to you all via YouTube. Okay, you all have a
Go to the YouTube stream and the comment section on YouTube, and you can put in your comments.
Pardon?
You go to the YouTube stream and go to the comment section under the stream and put in your comments, and we'll get it.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Good morning.
Michael Gopi is his name.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Just like to make a little contribution pertaining to the discussion about the fire service. Right? Listen to the discussion yesterday, and I think that focus has been made, rightfully so, on the availability of appliances. Right? Unfortunately, the discussion has not been broadened, because why I say that, even if you have the availability of appliances, all stations are fully equipped, right? They do not guarantee absolute prevention, unfortunately, of fatalities. And let me start by saying that I want to express condolences to those who have lost their lives. And why I say that, in the United States, for example, there has been 3,000 deaths, fatalities, due to residential fires, and on average 258,000 fires, residential fires, and then that's just for 2022, right? Now, you would imagine that those states were fully equipped and not experiencing the problem that we are experiencing at this point of time. But people forget that when a fire develops within a residence, or average, within a room, on average, from the incipient stage to full development, it takes about a minute. And 5 minutes overall, on average, for a house to be fully engulfed in flames. And that depends on the construction of the building and also the dimensions and size, right? Now, why I say that is that prevention and education are the key components, because if you look at a fire service or station, the station ground in the area in which it covers, at its furthest point, there is no guarantee that that appliance is going to reach there in 5 minutes, right? So it goes to the discussion as to the remit of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service in terms of its establishment, and also in terms of its role in terms of providing education to persons, and also providing the fire prevention tools, right? And this is where legislation most likely will have to be put in place, because if you use Trinidad as a comparator to America, you will appreciate that within residential and apartments that they must install fire alarms and smoke detectors, which gives the person a fighting chance until the fire service arrives and the professionals perform the function. Now, in the absence of that, and if I use what occurred recently, the fire occurred at 5 a.m., and you could appreciate in the absence of preparedness, and I'm just saying this not knowing what is the outcome of the investigation, but in the absence of preparedness, for you to be alerted at 5 a.m. in the morning causes some form of panic, right? And the action, natural ability of fear or fright that kicks in place. For some persons, when involved in a deep sleep, and they assume, I don't sure if it occurs to you all, that if you leave a pot on or something like the case, you may be actually, the body responding by actually dreaming that something is happening and manifests itself. But by the time you wake up, for some persons, they may be overcome by the smoke, the lack of breathing air, and asphyxiation that takes place. What I'm trying to say is that the holistic part of this discussion should not focus on the appliances themselves, but also a key component is preparing themselves, and actually a widespread effort should be made in terms of educating the public and preparing them and giving them the relevant tools. Right?
I might leave.
Yes.
I hear you. I hear you on all what you said, right? And I know you're trying to
collect some money. That's what I'm taking it for.
What's happening there?
And that's
What's going on here?
Somebody conversation interrupted us.
I'm not hearing you, Wendell. Clearly.
I don't know why. I said there was a conversation that interrupted there. I was telling the caller that whilst I'm here, I understand what he's saying and where he's going with this. I listened to the testimony of someone who lives in the area yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And that person basically said that the fire tender, the fire station is very close, within 5 to 10 minutes of the home that was there. And had there been a fire tender at that fire station, that woman would have been saved. That was the opinion of somebody who lives in the area and knows the woman, because he said he picked up.
Not disputing that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying that is relevant, yes. But what I am saying that the opportunity now, we're losing this opportunity to have a broader discussion as to preparing person, right?
But who should do that? The fire services do that all the time, you know.
All right, but how you measure, right, whether that communication is being effective?
Yeah. Well, I agree with that part. Maybe it's not effective because even people who have fire extinguishers at their home don't know that they're supposed to check it every year and have it refilled and all that. They don't know that. They buy it and they put it there because it's a requirement, and they forget about it. And then a lot of times they will have to, if an emergency comes up and they have to grab that fire extinguisher, it will be of no use to them. I invested in fire alarms. Whenever I travel, I buy those things and I put them up and so on. But people don't check them either too after a while.
But not only that, the most junior person within your home, right? That you must be familiar with the construct of your premises, your building in which you occupy. Take off the lights, right? And find your way outside that. So put an obstruction. Change it around a few times. Familiarity, right?
All right.
Yes, but just on passing, Steve, an appliance on average will cost just over $1 million. And why I say that, remember these water tenders, water tankers are built for specifics, right? And also come with pumps. And they come
$1 million TT?
Equipment. Yes.
But
right?
maxi taxi costing about $1 million TT?
No, I said minimum. Right? Just in a minimum.
It all depends on the cost and what you want outfitted in it. It varies.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Good morning.
What I find strange about that fire is that the news that came out at the beginning was that they were trapped, burglar proof and trapped them. But that was subsequently disputed that the place wasn't burglar proof.
Morning, caller.
Morning. No one make a mistake. This is the guy again. Okay. I just listened to that long-winded, what I would call excuse or explanation for not having the fire tenders and the respiratory and bringing America into it. And after listening to that long-winded excuse for whoever it is not having the fire tenders in place, I have to join with that mentality that gentleman just had. I have to join with the Commissioner of Police, and I will start a novena tonight. Pray that leads a lot of prayers. honestly, because that what that gentleman just said there is just a long-winded excuse for not having fire tenders. Sorry, gentlemen, he's a big guy. I don't care.
But he was just giving his perspective on education. I think that was the gist of his message, educating the public. But the fire services do that, but I don't know that people listen to them sometimes, you know. Yeah. So I was saying the story that came out.
You know, go ahead.
No, big guy, are you done?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm ready. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying he was just giving his perspective on in terms of the education part of it. I don't think he was giving a long-winded excuse.
Okay.
right.
I think, but I'll say my prayers. You all have a nice day.
Yes, say a prayer.
Good morning.
There's the most prayerful weekend in the entire year.
I often wonder what the firemen do, because there was a lot of hydrant all over San Fernando that are rusty and covered with bush, and they didn't even pass some paint or anything so you could see it from a distance. So they just sit there and shine their boots like the other thing. It's not the first time people pass away with burglar proofing, and this house didn't have any. I don't know what. Every time somebody's dead, then they're hearing, then they're looking to wake up to do something. Do what you all have to do. Pass through San Fernando. Not a fire hydrant is yellow. When I tell you that, I tell you it's brown with rust.
You know what you mean? Yeah. All right.
They tail and don't do anything.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Martin.
I was listening to, oh gosh, I'm hearing him. He come like this Okaskan now on every TV station. Anyway, the president of the fire service, he was speaking to that mostly on TV16 about how much fire trucks they want, and I want him to give a time frame. How long the years these stations that he listed were out of a fire truck or needed, because he's saying it's not only fire truck tenders they need apparatus, and and when I watch, there's a program called Chicago PD. My husband says, you're always watching foreign station and expect it to happen here. Anyway, when I watch Chicago Fire, that program, when they get a call, man, if you see how they just jump in, all the equipment, and they always have this shield with their tank on their back, which is for the oxygen going into a burning building. And I'm asking, does our firemen have that? And he revealed this morning they need that. They haven't got it. He applied, they requested and then get it. So I'm saying, Lord Jesus, he said, and the inhalation of, you go into a building, it might be a factory, toxic, whatever. How the hell a fireman could run in a burning building and don't have an oxygen tank that he could breathe and not breathe in that toxic thing? This is mind-boggling. But what I'm coming to is, I want to get the time frame, because if you all remember, a former Minister of National Security, Jack Warner, paid $6 million to take out a fire truck from down in a ditch. So I am saying, if stations needed apparatus and they needed fire tenders, $6 million spent to take out one fire truck? No. I want Leo Ramke soon to give us how many years you all have been asking for these things. My next point is,
but Mr. Martin, Leo Ramke has been consistent over the years, eh?
Yeah, I know. I have been hearing him, but I want to get a time frame. Give me a time frame. I like paper trail. As an old public servant, give me a paper trail. Anyway, I want to ask Kadisha Amin. The former Minister of Education, Tim Gopi, brought down a bully expert. Could you all remember that, from Boston? A lady to deal with bullying in our schools. I want Kadisha Amin to tell me, did any of the students who were being bullied in our nation school
did they ever benefited from that bully expert? That is one. And the next point is, I heard one of your callers said this sometime, if it's not last week, this week, about the vending in Port of Spain, and he wanted the mayor to think. I don't know if he was living abroad, but under Murchison Brown, let me tell you, I used to feel sorry for him. The problems he got with those vendors, Wendell, I sure you knew because you would have been in the corporation.
Yep, I served for 10 years with Mayor Brown.
Every time he moved, it was bacchanal. And you know what? He got the new city mall on Independence Square, and as they put them in there, more come to Stalin. They got East Side Plaza, some of them. Do you know it has people, have stores in the new city mall, and they're still selling on the pavement. They have people running the store, and they're on the pavement. Where we going? I saw Murchison Brown must be saying, Lord Jesus, there's vending in the city like it will never stop. And you know what it is going on now? The Venice has joined them, pass in front of Mickles. It had two young fellas is be selling some kind of colored up thing in a bottle. Well, I see they escalate now to jewelry. So the vending in the city, it could never stop because, sir, as the mayor moved them, more come, more come. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
That's exactly what I told Mr. Joseph yesterday. Regardless of how much facilities you put, there will be more.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning, Wendell, Chief Carter Chavis.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
I listened to Mr. Ramkisoon yesterday, and Mr. Ramkisoon very consistent over the years, only about 12 years. He on such a program with this thing every Wednesday. But it's a man like Mr. Stuart Young and Mr. Volney and them was security ministers and who promise. I don't know, like I listen to one Nalan here, but everybody only wonder when these promises will come to pass. No, Mr. Hines come now and say, one fire truck. What one fire truck could do when 8 fire stations and no fire truck, and the rest have fire truck and let me say, outdated and dilapidated. Well, when they really try to mama guy people for? Why do they have to do them kind of thing in Trinidad, boy? The people need the tools to function. Fire truck, the tools, oxygen tank and protective gear, the tools. I don't know that. No, the US and the money, no, the currency. When did you ever hear about the new world order?
Yes.
Right, so I wouldn't be troubled when China and Russia and all of them decide they want to unite together because what the currency them will have on the market? What currency them having? The ruble? Where's the currency them will have?
If you know China, it will be the yuan. If you know the power of China and the determination of that man called Xi Jinping, it will be the yuan.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, when you read prophecy and prophetic teachings and things, Wendell, it will only have one currency, one language, and one world government, and we will only have one world religion. So all countries can form what they want, but the final analysis it will only come down to one person ruling, that will be the new world order.
We all have to leave this world at some point in time, you know. Every single one of us.
Everybody you have to go. But you see, you remember when Europe, the European Union had the bacchanal and they formed the euro currency?
Yes.
And when the euro currency today, right? And Britain money, right?
It's just as powerful as the US dollar, or even more.
Well, yeah, so you hear that today, but it will come down that all them things where people worrying and troubling about. That will suffice us nothing here.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago, you used to be paying $4, $4.50 for a euro. A euro is 7 something now. It's the same as the US dollar and almost the same as the pound.
I could remember when we used to be paying $1.25 by US. We used to pay $1.25 by US.
You got way back there.
Yes. 250 for
Mr.
years.
Patrick, you about 90 years old.
I don't remember
Right?
you was
You have to
something.
be 90. You are 125. You have to be 90.
I remember as a child growing up, it used to be like 245 or something. So that must be the lowest I ever hit.
I didn't remember nothing under $3 out to one.
I think it was up 245, I think.
All right.
Man, flow the dollar. I can only flow the dollar. That's all. So a lot of people don't know the history in Trinidad. And whenever they need to tell you about the history in Trinidad, and
That's
the
what I'm here for.
US visa fee going up to
Visa.
Visa, whatever. It's going up, eh?
Give Mr. Patrick a little bit.
It's not
All right.
going up, it's going up.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Morning. This is BCC here from Maryland.
Hey, BCC, what's happening?
From where, the Netherlands?
Maryland.
No, from Maryland.
I'm going to go by Wendell Corner.
I wanted to join the discussion and to begin by offering my condolences to those people who died in the fire. Really a tragic situation. But what I have not heard, what happens when people die in fires. What sort of investigation is done? What sort of reports are made up? And to whom is it sent, and what action is taken? And that is where Trinidad and Tobago we all fall down in my view. Okay? The other thing is that with respect to that fire, there's so many reports coming out. I heard on the news that the fire people said that they ran out of water. How could you run out of water? I mean, to me that makes no sense. Now, I know what happens in Trinidad, right? Being a mechanical engineer, I am very familiar with the process. You have tenders, water tenders, supplementing the fire truck. But you have to estimate, what's happening. And when you see your water situation, you have to make provisions for that if water was a problem. I'm not sure if many people are aware, right? Maybe they may not be. You remember when we had a massive project in Port of Spain with saltwater mains? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We had saltwater mains running to supplement. I don't know whatever became of that, right? And there are so many things that go together in the course of fire. For example, I heard this boy talking, but one of the things that happened in the United States, do you know how many volunteers actually are part of the fire service complement? Volunteers. They're not paid, they may be paid a small sum, but they're not part of the regular complement. There's a lot of things that go into the fire management. A lot of things. I heard, somebody talk about devices in the house. All of these things go together. It's a holistic approach has to be taken. And when people die, which is the sad part of it, we have to sit back, look at our situation, readjust, re-engineer it, do other things. Having a fire tender in every station is ideal. I didn't know that. That's an ideal situation. But is it practical? Is that going to ever happen? In fact, some people might say put two. Some people might say that. But
you're right. Because after they say one, they'll probably say it should have two. You're right.
Well, one of the things that was suggested way back, if you had 25 stations, you had 27 tenders. Because some of them go down, so as one go down, you put another one in place, you fix that one, and you have it as a standby. That is an ideal situation.
Well, there's some stations like Rice New that need two tenders because of the density of population.
Exactly. And that's another point. So we need to assess our situation. And I am not here, with all due respect, Mr. Ramsey, talking about these issues. What have we learned from this experience? What have we learned? What are we going to do to make sure, right? For example, when firemen have to run into a fire, for example, they have compressed air cylinders, right? That they have to use. That's how they're going to breathe. Can't breathe when the fire is a lot of smoke in the building. Do you know that
Mr. Ramkissoon did also say yesterday that they have a shortage of breathing apparatus.
Right. Now, breathing apparatus is a all-encompassing term because you have breathing apparatus that consists of the hose and a canister. You have those types too. But on a more long-term basis, what you have is a cylinder that you put on your straddle on your back that will give you a longer capacity. So you have those, that is a different type of, not different, that's a different way of putting here. But with all this talk about jobs and stuff, you want to tell us that we cannot put down a compressed air station so that we can fill cylinders to supply our fire services? I mean, there are requirements, and I'm not saying that there are technical requirements that you need, but that is compressed air. Compressed air, man. It's a simple thing. Simple. IGL does it. Why can't we have something like that in place to furnish our so the whole, but the point I'm making, I conclude by saying we have to take an overall view. And I'm not hearing, Mr. Ramkissoon talking in that direction. He's not telling me, hey, the lost line, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we have to do. Let's reassess. And gentlemen, with that, I end my contribution.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't understand. I don't understand why he wants. What he means by Mr. Ramkissoon needs to reassess. I didn't understand that because Mr. Ramkissoon is articulating what the deficiencies are in the system for them to do an efficient job. What is there to reassess there? Do you mean make do?
Yeah,
Which we are accustomed to?
Yeah.
Is that what it means? Make do? That is what good enough for all your syndrome that we have all over this country?
No, I think
Is that what it is?
I think he is putting the burden on Leo Ramkissoon when really it should lie on the chief fire officer, his bosses. Leo Ramkissoon is not the person in charge of this.
Mr. Leo Ramkissoon is articulating for the rank and file.
Yeah.
And they put their lives in danger when they're dealing with a fire, wherever it is.
Yeah. Well,
So that's what he's articulating for.
Do we know who the chief fire officer is?
Well, go to Yuan and Paul Encyclopedia called Google.
Paul, like he taught him, never.
The little yes, Piggy tired there, so he didn't answer you. So I gave him a
All right. Well, let's grab some more calls. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Just want to convey some condolences to my friend and colleague Hazel Byron on the passing of her son, Kevin Ward.
Hazel Byron. Oh, the Ward is the person who passed.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Carla. The chief officer is Arnold Bristow.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Wendell,
yes,
concerning the vendors and the vagrants, if you all put a fire truck in the city there and tell the vendors and them to move, those guys that sit down and shine the boots, I forget the change in name the other day, put them on the street so the vendors will come back. The city supposed to look like a city. And now you have all kind of people on vending there now, foreigners, locals. It has to stop. The vendors carry on the show. There's law and order that is, if they say to move out of the city, they need to move out of the city. Who running the show here? The mayor is supposed to put his foot down and get some help from the the other police people who just sit and polish their shoes. I can't even remember the name. But they need to do something, man. The city is supposed to look like a city. Have the fire truck there to wash down after the vagrants move and just stay behind them and let everybody move out of the city.
They'll come down San Fernando by you, you know.
Morning.
As if you don't have enough worries down there already.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
This fire business is not something now happening. This is happening for years. Government come, government go.
Mm-hmm.
2010 to 2015, they had so much of money. What they did with it, they could have do something with the fire people too. But everything is only politics, and nobody trying to fix the right thing. All right?
I can tell you what they do, you know. I can name two things they do. Well, a few well, but I will name two. The most expensive road in the Caribbean was built, and it ain't finished yet, the Point 14 Highway. A Beetham wastewater plant was started, never completed. The contractor disappeared September 9th, I think, 2015. He never come back again in the country. That's what I can tell you they do with money then.
Understand? I mean, so we must have a problem, but we shouldn't have that kind of problem. Not no
$400 million spent on a Beetham waste. I wouldn't even go with water. Beetham waste. $400 million was spent. Pass and see it. Every now and then you see some pigs running out from the back there.
So much of money passed here in 2010, 2015. We should, I know we must have problem, but the kind of problem that any fire service have. Come on. And every time, Wendell, that the TNM in power, that is the time everybody see what they have to get and what not to get. Yep. You all have a blessed weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
I ain't saying the PNM and doing some stupidness too, you know. But it had nothing worse than 2010 to 2015. Nothing worse than 2010 to 2015. And it will have nothing worse than that. As bad as some of these PNM people could be sometimes. We'll never have anything worse than that.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I called him deaf this morning. The last thing I was hearing was that the gentleman that was talking about the fire appliances and he was asking the question if it was practical, and that annoyed me so much. I said, Paul, I have to leave the radio. And I wasn't hearing the balance of the conversation. What I want to tell that gentleman there, is he from Trinidad or is he from abroad? Hello?
You want to tell him or you want to ask him?
We're hearing
so
you.
Was that caller from Trinidad or was he from abroad?
I can't see.
BCC is from Maryland.
Right, and that is my problem. Right? These foreigners that's called here, they have top of the line amenities in the United States. And they want to call and find we are expecting too much. Wait, what does he mean by, is it practical for every fire station to have one appliance? As far as I'm concerned, every fire station is supposed to have at least 3. Right? 2 tenders, an ambulance, and even more. And a small vehicle for the chief of fire to move around with, and even more. Each fire station is supposed to have that. So
Lincoln, I don't think he was suggesting that it's not practical for each fire station to have a tender.
I the impression that I got that well,
I don't think that's what he was saying.
That we would afford that. Mm-hmm. Right? If I'm wrong, I stand corrected. But I got the impression that I got that we were asking for too much. That each fire station have one appliance, right? And to speak about oxygen, the problem, sir, is not we don't have oxygen. The problem is we don't have the bloody tanks. The problem is that the fire services don't have the mask to wear on the face. The equipment, the whole equipment, totally. That he didn't listen to the gentleman yesterday.
Lincoln.
Correct. Go ahead, Paul.
You want to burst a blood vessel?
No, you see foolishness. I have a short fuse for foolishness. And I have a short fuse for when people feel that we don't deserve better. And when people try to make excuses for any government to try and make themselves, well, we should be glad for what we have. No.
I think every fire station, and I'm saying, what is the use of a fire station? This is a building with officers assigned to the building to monitor, prevent, and intervene in fires. If they, how effective can a fire station be? When I'm presuming a fire station is always going to be strategically located in an area that they have to monitor and supervise, including bushfires. What is the use of a fire station without a fire appliance? But they'll jump in, they can't go with buckets?
Paul, I don't know if people analyze the demographics of when wood broke. And here the areas there, pay attention to the areas there. Wood broke, Mova,
Santa Cruz, Belmont.
That whole poor Black Peninsula don't have proper fire appliances.
Yeah, include 4 roads in that. Include 4 roads in that.
Right, 4 roads. Yes, because I went to 4 roads the other day and there was no appliance there. So not proper, I should say. Any fire appliance to respond to a fire in these areas. And you are telling me, well, we can't expect every fire station.
And you know, the other thing when that happens is that, God forbid, there's a fire, and Royston Road has the 1 or 2 tenders to respond. Very often, fires, depending on the size of the fire and the potential for contagion, the appliances from other stations join the fight to help her.
Correct.
That's part of the dynamic too.
I am saying it is a poor reflection of the Minister of National Security, because I can put better on a block that the fire services, and this, first of all, let me go on. This just does not apply to fire services. I have, from where I come from, I know for a fact that the Prime Minister and President Guard have been waiting at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours to change, because they had no vehicle to transport soldiers from Camp Ogden to the President's house. We just talking about fire, but Army had no vehicles either.
You busted, man.
Only people seem to be sustainable with vehicles is police. Right? Army have no vehicles either. When if you look at any military vehicle on the road, it's all of the vehicles over 20 years. Right? So they have to go to court now. They're using a 7-ton truck to drop one soldier to court because they don't have any small light vehicles to take a man to court to move around. So the Army have a similar problem. The problem is Army
have evidence to support these claims that you're making?
I have, well, any soldier that will talk to you will tell you that, will confirm that. Right? Or you can just go and stand up outside Camp Ogden 8 o'clock and you'll see the 24 soldiers sitting on the Alice Park waiting on a transport to go to President's house. Any day you could go and see that. Right? I don't have, you could go and get your own evidence.
But as you say, I must go and get evidence to support your claim.
But my point is, for the Minister of National Security to come after the prison, so the fire service have to embarrass them on national radio to come and say, well, we're going and get one in 3 weeks. We have 8 stations without any. 8 stations need at least 8 and 8, 16 and at least 32 vehicles. You telling me we're going and get one, and that is not remember that we ain't consider the unserviceable ones that in the stations that they just have there as a monument. We just considering the 8 that don't have
Lincoln, did you hear my take on what I suspect and what I've heard people say about the fire services and the Army?
I did hear it.
That we just feeding them, they're a waste of time.
I did hear it this morning, and let me tell you something. In the military, we have a saying: the more we bleed in peacetime, the less we bleed in war. It simply paraphrases. The fire service is not to be there, papi showing up and down the place. The fire service, and I'm speaking for the fire service and the military, where they say, them soldiers, they just lying down sleeping. I would say 2 things to that. As a former soldier, I would say 2 things to that. When you feel soldiers just lying down sleeping, it means soldiers did a good job. Here's why. It means that, because I know for a fact, I've experienced it. soldiers in your backyard, running down bandit, running down thief, and come out of your backyard, catch who they had to catch, and gone back to camp normal, and you never know they was in the backyard. That means they did a great job. You'd never know what happened in your yard that night because they get in and get out and you never knew. That is the first thing. The second thing is, soldiers are trained to always be trained to be prepared for an event of anything. So they don't just be staying at home. They have weapons training, they have continuous training. Similar for fire service. I'm not a fire service officer, I can't speak to them, but I'm positive they do continuous training to be prepared in case they have something to do. Right? So what the government pays them for is to be prepared, to train and always be prepared in the event of this happening. So you will never hear me saying them firemen does always be just their son lying down sleeping whole day. When they train, you don't see.
Well, they certainly are made very busy during our dry season because we so reckless here, we burning up everywhere. So
and sorry, the man smoking a cigarette, he just pulled the cigarette out of the car.
Yeah,
Cigarette out of the car.
been very busy during the dry season.
Right? So I am saying, I am empathetic with the prisons, with the fire service, and the general, I don't remember his name, who keeps campaigning. I remember there was a fire on Frederick Street sometime. And when they turned on the hose, there was more water coming out of the holes in the hose of the fire, or the thing, than the nozzle. And I remember back then he said, the hose have a lifespan every 4 years or something, so they're supposed to change it. And it's going on 10 years and then replace the hose of the fire services.
That's like Wendell.
Well, you see when it's cheeky,
with my hose, as long as it come out, that's all.
That's what coming on the nozzle. Wow.
Once it come out.
Better name that Wendell.
Stay away from those cheeky remarks. Anyway, so that guy peeved me this morning because he was talking from a place of unawareness. The problem is that we don't have oxygen in the trailer to fill the tanks. The problem is we don't have the tanks. Right? It have how much? It have 2,000 fire officers and they have 5 tanks, 5 breathing apparatus.
He has the right to his opinion. All right. All right, buddy. We have news coming up next. Stand by. Thank you.
Gentlemen, sorry about my passion.
Phone on my way down the road, eh?